This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of October 26th, 2022. I'm Alex Brown. Indianapolis-based TriMedics is partnering with Indiana University Health to develop a cybersecurity lab that will be used to test the security of medical devices such as ventilators and MRI machines. Chief Technology Officer Doug Folsom says the lab will test different solutions and protection strategies for new and existing devices.
There's computers in there where we can interject known vulnerabilities onto the network and see how it reacts, and then change settings on the device or change settings on the network to see if we can protect that device prior to doing it in a live setting.
TriMedics says 68% of medical devices are projected to be connected devices by 2025, which makes cybersecurity more critical than ever. Longtime Franklin-based industrial supplier Quality Mills Supply Company has been acquired by Martin Supply, an industrial supply company based in Alabama. Financial terms were not disclosed, but Martin says all 80 QMS employees will be retained. Lafayette-based Wabash is reporting third-quarter net income of $36.3 million compared to $11 million during the same period a year ago. The trailer and truck body maker says it generated record Q3 sales of $655 million, an increase of 35% over the same quarter in 2021. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Concerned about the economy? You aren't alone. Join us at IBJ's 2023 Economic Forecast event to hear a succinct rundown of numbers-driven predictions for the economy, business, and markets for the year ahead. From the biggest risk to the economy to what will dictate the length and strength of the economic cycle, we'll be digging into questions to help position your business for success in 2023. Register or reserve a corporate table by November 8th at ibj.com/events.
Whether it's a new hire or a noteworthy promotion, IIB's Big Wigs and New Gigs serves as a platform to promote your team. Our revamped offering includes being featured on both the newly redesigned newsletter and at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. Subscribers to the Business News subscription save $10 off every listing. Plus, you can save $100 by bundling your submission to IIB with the Indianapolis Business Journal or the Indiana Lawyer. More at InsideIndianaBusiness.com.
In response to repeated requests from school officials and education advocates, lawmakers might be inclined to increase the amount of money awarded to schools with at-risk and low-income student populations.
The deliberations come ahead of the General Assembly's January return to the State House, when writing is set to begin on a new state budget. An interim study committee on fiscal policy is already exploring Indiana's Complexity Index, which is used to calculate supplemental aid for schools. The dollars awarded are in addition to the base funding schools receive for all students. Complexity grants are intended to cover costs incurred by school districts for additional teaching and support staff, social workers, instructional aides, alternative programs, and other tools needed for serving at-risk students. School officials from around the state maintain that the funding formula has not kept up with their actual cost. The funding gap has forced many schools to instead spend complexity grants on other expenditures, leaving fewer dollars available for kids in need. Representative Greg Porter requested that the interim committee address the topic before the legislative session and advocated for increased funding for the Complexity Index. He said lawmakers should make the issue a priority. Wes Mills, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The Gary Community School Corporation may regain control of the school system, but that appears to be 2 years away. Our partners at the Times of Northwest Indiana report the state overseer is signaling the work to resuscitate the once financially unstable district could be nearing an end. The Indiana Distressed Unit Appeals Board, which has overseen the school district's transformation from financial disaster to fiscal stability, says the district has made significant improvements over the past 5 years. The board approved an $82.8 million budget for 2023 that spends less money than the district expects to take in. It also pays down $15 million in long-term debt and begins the process of building up positive fund balances and a rainy day fund. A new study shows 3/4 of Indiana employers are leaving jobs unfilled because of the talent shortage. Results of the annual employer workforce survey conducted by the Indiana Chamber of Commerce show talent is the top concern in 2022, and other issues are not even close, says VP of Education and Workforce Development Jason Beers.
This issue isn't going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, it's probably going to get a little worse before it gets better. We see a lot of retirements on the horizon. There's this continuing great disruption, great reshuffling. There's a variety of terms of art that, people are kind of moving around in the job market. And it's created a lot of uncertainty for employers in terms of figuring out, where they can, go about, getting the people they need. And that it's forced them to be more creative.
52% of respondents said attracting workers is their top concern, followed by government regulations at 18%, inflationary pressures at 16%, and supply chain challenges at 15%. Former Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.